I measure the progress of a community by the degree of progress which women have achieved. Dr. B R Ambedkar, father of the Indian Constitution and well known as Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. The relationship between husband and wife should be one of closest friends. If I find the Constitution being misused, I shall be the first to burn it. Life should be great rather than long. Every man who repeats the dogma of mill that one country is no fit to rule another country must admit that one class is not fit to rule another class. For a successful revolution, it is not enough that there is discontent. What is required is a profound and thorough conviction of the justice, necessity and importance of political and social rights. Political tyranny is nothing compared to the social tyranny, and a reformer who defies society is a more courageous man than a politician who defies government. The outcast is a byproduct of the caste system. There will be outcasts as long as there are castes. Nothing can emancipate the outcast except the destruction of the caste system. Religion is for man and not man for religion. Every man must have a philosophy of life, for everyone must have a standard by which to measure his conduct. And philosophy is nothing but a standard by which to measure. A safe army is better than a safe border. The basic idea underlying religion is to create an atmosphere for the spiritual development of the individual. One cannot have any respect or regard for men who take the position of the reformer and then refuse to see the logical consequences of that position, let alone following them out in action. Democracy is not merely a form of government, it is essentially an attitude of respect and reverence towards fellow men. If you ask me, my ideal would be the society based on liberty, equality and fraternity. An ideal society should be mobile and full of channels of conveying a change taking place in one part to other parts. Once you clear the minds of the people of this misconception and enable them to realize that what they are told is not religion, but that it is really law, you will be in a position to urge its amendment or abolition. I refuse to join with them in performing the miracle, I will not say trick, of liberating the oppressed with the gold of the tyrant, and raising the poor with the cash of the rich. Religion, social status, and property are all sources of power and authority which one man has, to control the liberty of another. Nothing is infallible. Nothing is binding forever. Everything is subject to inquiry and examination. Every congressman who repeats the dogma of mill that one country is not fit to rule another country must admit that one class is not fit to rule another class. Law and order are the medicine of the politic body, and when the politic body gets sick, medicine must be administered. You must abolish your slavery yourselves. Do not depend for its abolition upon God or a Superman. Remember that it is not enough that a people are numerically in the majority. They must be always watchful, strong and self-respecting to attain and maintain success. We must shape our course ourselves and by ourselves. No civilized society of today presents more survivals of primitive times than does the Indian society. Its religion is essentially primitive, and its tribal code, in spite of the advance of time and civilization, operates in all its pristine vigor even today. Any government which denied this elementary right of freedom of speech and freedom of action did not deserve allegiance from the people. Without equality, liberty would produce the supremacy of the few over the many. Equality without liberty would kill individual initiative. I measure the progress of the community by the degree of progress that women had achieved. Let every girl who marries stand by her husband, claim to be her husband's friend and equal, and refuse to be his slave. I am sure if you follow this advice, you will bring honor and glory to yourselves. For myself, I shall find as much pleasure in a positive destruction of my own ideology, as in a rational disagreement on a topic, which, notwithstanding many learned disquisitions, is likely to remain controversial forever. These will suffice to show that the emancipation of the mind and the soul is a necessary preliminary for the political expansion of the people. People sometimes ask the idle question, why the Pope does not introduce this or that reform. The true answer is that a revolutionist is not the kind of man who becomes a pope, and that a man who becomes a pope has no wish to be a revolutionist. It is better to be ridiculed for too great a credulity than to be ruined by too confident a sense of security. Nationalism is an irrational instinct, if not a positive hallucination, and the sooner humanity got rid of it the better for all. True calm and the self-possession of the mind is properly obtained by the constant satisfaction of the body's wants. That religion is the source of power is illustrated by the history of India, where the priest holds a sway over the common man often greater than the magistrate, and where everything, even such things as strikes and elections, so easily take a religious turn and can so easily be given a religious twist. Religion, social status and property are all sources of power and authority, which one man has, to control the liberty of another. Turn in any direction you like, caste is the monster that crosses your path. You cannot have political reform, you cannot have economic reform, unless you kill this monster. They cannot make history who forget history. History shows that where ethics and economics come in conflict, victory is always with economics. Vested interests have never been known to have willingly divested themselves unless there was sufficient force to compel them. Be educated, be organized and be agitated. I like the religion that teaches liberty, equality and fraternity. Equality may be a fiction, but nonetheless one must accept it as a governing principle. Equality may be a fiction, but nonetheless one must accept it as a governing principle. It is not enough to be electors only. It is necessary to be lawmakers, otherwise those who can be lawmakers will be the masters of those who can only be electors. A bitter thing cannot be made sweet. The taste of anything can be changed, but poison cannot be changed into nectar. Humans are mortal. So are ideas. An idea needs propagation as much as a plant needs watering. Otherwise both will wither and die. Indifferentism is the worst kind of disease that can affect people. Unlike a drop of water which loses its identity when it joins the ocean, man does not lose his being in the society in which he lives. Man's life is independent. He is born not for the development of the society alone, but for the development of his self too. Freedom of mind is the real freedom. A person whose mind is not free, though he may not be in chains, is a slave, not a free man. One whose mind is not free, though he may not be in prison, is a prisoner and not a free man. One whose mind is not free though alive, is no better than dead. Freedom of mind is the proof of one's existence. Lost rights are never regained by appeals to the conscience of the usurpers, but by relentless struggle. Goats are used for sacrificial offerings and not lions. If you believe in living a respectable life, you believe in self-help, which is the best help. Thank you for watching.